Hello and welcome to the Warcraft Academy guide to General Nazgrim Heroic. For this guide I'll assume you already know how the fight works on normal. If you don't, click at the top to view the normal mode guide. You'll want to use 3 tanks and 5 healers for this fight on 25 man and 2 tanks and 2 healers for 10 man. Nazgrim is mechanically the same as normal with the exception of one additional mob. This mob, the Kor'kron Sniper, will fixate on a random player and fire a volley towards him doing 400,000 physical damage to anyone in a 40-yard cone. Whichever player is fixated, indicated by the hunter's mark, needs to turn the mob towards a wall so the cone only hits him and not the entire raid. In this phase you need to follow a simple kill priority as well as handling each mob in its own way, very similar to how you would handle this fight on normal. First of all, your highest priority is war banners. These will always be spawned directly next to Nazgrim, so it can be helpful if your tank calls whenever they spawn and use a macro to target them quickly. Next is healing tide totems. Whenever one of these is dropped, move any mobs next to it away as quickly as possible before it has time to pulse. Using Death Grip to quickly move them can be a good idea. If there are no banners or healing totems up, then your priority in order is Archweavers, War Shamans, Assassins, Snipers, and finally Iron Blades. Archweavers need to be kept stunned as much as possible whilst they're killed, so try to rotate stuns on them whilst they're active. War Shamans need to be constantly interrupted and moved anytime they drop a healing tide totem. Be careful not to stun mobs next to a totem or you won't be able to move them before they heal. On waves where you get an Archweaver and a War Shaman, just keep the War Shaman interrupted whilst you kill the Archweaver. Assassins need to be kept kited. You can use Flare to reveal them from stealth so they can't get the jump on you with backstab. After that, whoever they're fixating on should kite them around in a circle whilst your raid deals with higher priority mobs. They're susceptible to slows and stuns, so just throw a strong slow on them and it should be easy to keep them away from you. Never let them catch you with your back to them. When a sniper spawns, whoever it fixates on needs to simply turn it to the wall that it's closest to and heal him through the damage. As long as they're faced away, snipers are not any major threat at all, so they're not very high on priority. Only kill snipers when all assassins, archweavers and war shamans are dead, and when the boss is not in berserker stance. Iron Blade should be picked up and tanked around here. Be careful not to stand in their Iron Storm, and other than that, only kill them when the boss is in defensive stance, since they're not a threat and you're better off just getting extra damage into the boss. You can tank Nazgrim where he starts or close to the entrance, although by the wall around here is probably best. This fight is simply about control. Every time a new wave spawns, switch to it and handle each mob in its own way. Always kill Archweavers, War Shamans and Assassins before DPSing the boss, no matter what stance he's in. During the boss's defensive stance you should not DPS him. The only exception is if you're running low on time before the enrage. Sometimes, in his third defensive stance when there's only 2 minutes or so until the enrage, we'll kill all mobs that are alive and just continue to DPS him to ensure we never hit the enrage. During berserker stance you want to get as much damage into the boss as possible. You'll still need to kill War Shamans, Archweavers and Assassins here, but you can safely ignore Snipers and Iron Blades until the berserker stance is over. Use Bloodlust during the second berserker stance since it lines nicely with cooldowns. Once he gets to 10%, just like normal, you should ignore any adds and burn the boss. Do ensure to keep War Shamans interrupted and away from the boss to prevent him from healing. This fight is generally easier if you keep his rage low. You obviously need to dodge his heroic shockwave ability and the lines that follow. The effect is slightly larger than the animation, so give them a wide berth. Kill War Banners as absolute highest priority, and for War Song you really want to use a raid cooldown such as Demo Banner to reduce the damage. Ideally, whichever tank is currently tanking the boss will announce when War Song is being cast to allow your healers time to prepare with cooldowns as needed. This is also a good time to use personal cooldowns if you're low. If you're having issue with him getting too much rage and Ravagers are spawning, you're either not killing War Banners fast enough, people are getting hit with Shockwave, or your tanks are getting too many stacks. To sum up, tank the boss off to the side, turn Kor'kron Snipers to the closest wall, slow, root and kite Assassins, stun Archweavers, interrupt and kill War Shamans. Your kill priority in order is Banners, Healing Totems, Archweavers, War Shamans, Assassins, Snipers and Iron Blades. Don't DPS the boss in defensive stance. Once he reaches 10% health, ignore all adds and burn him. Thank you very much for watching this guide, and if you have any comments or suggestions, please post them in the comment section below, and remember to visit warcraftacademy.com for all of our other guides for Siege of Orgrimmar. If you like this guide, please do subscribe, it really helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you, and catch you soon.